Sorry. My bad. Sorry. All good now.
After a week away, the NASA Rallycross Challenge is back on dirt this evening at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So many memorable incidents at this circuit in its brief history, from the Kingsbury brothers crashing each other in the LCQ to Marwan Moftah flipping over the wall on the start of the feature. This track always has action. Francois Martel and Cody Crosgrove come into the night with a full race lead of points, but no Francois Martel, so we wonder if Romain Moretto can ride the momentum from last week at Lime Rock along with Jess Rakowski to challenge their championship competitors. We will find out together tonight. The Charlotte Grand Prix is next. Our venue for this evening is virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. Opened in 1960, Charlotte is one of the venues that North American Simulated Auto Racing has had a rare 2 sets of stints at. Once on NASCAR 2003, utilizing a replica of the 2012 Global Rallycross circuit for 4 seasons between 2012B and 2013C, and this modern implementation using the infield road course. NASA started visiting this modern layout in 2021A as we follow Alex Abetti to begin a lap here in Charlotte. 0.83 miles in length with 7 turns, 5 to the right and 2 to the left. The lap starts with that quick flick, the double apex in turns 1 and 2. Into turn number 3, utilize the curb to rotate the car over the jump into turn 4. You can utilize the curb, which is cleaner than the dirt, to get the car to grip through 4 and into turn number 5. We saw the Kingsbury brothers crash each other over a transfer spot in the LCQ here. Super wide, but easy to make a mistake as you wind through the corner to the Joker decision. Longer lap with the Joker with a delta of a few seconds. This will be key to our driver's success or failure this evening through the final set of corners. If you take your Joker too early and get caught in traffic, it'll ruin your race. And on that regular course in turn 6, you want to avoid the gigantic curb in 6 and around the flat-out bend of 7 to complete the lap. Our format for NASA Rallycross is as follows. We are back to the regular format. 23 cars will be split into 4 heat races, 5 laps apiece, and you have 6 laps, apologies there. The top 2 will transfer to the feature. The winner gets 3 bonus points, and the runner-up gets 2 as well. Full disclosure, with the last week being a different format, I'm on a different planet and I had to rewrite my script. The rest of our competitors will be funneled into the last chance qualifier. Those will be 5 lap races. the winners will receive 1 bonus point. This will set the grid for the 10-lap feature race where the points are awarded and the trophies are handed out. Unique to NASA Rallycross, once again, 2 jokers are taken during the feature. The 27th season of the Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge continues tonight on the Automotive Sports Network. I love that graphic. With Bryan, Sawyer in the production truck. It was supposed to be 4-time champion Philip Kraus next to me in the commentary box. Not feeling well. Best wishes to you, Phil. My name is Josh Mertz as we welcome you to the Charlotte Grand Prix. Our series is brought to you by Overwatch Specialty Service. The only thing more unique than your problem is our solution. For more information, visit osscenter.com. Thank you so much to Rob Hartland for your continued support of our championship. Our coverage all season is also brought to you by NordVPN. If you're worried about hackers stealing your personal information or being tracked online, NordVPN is here to keep you safe. With military-grade encryption and advanced security features, they keep your browsing activity and personal data completely private. With over 5,500 servers in 59 countries, you can enjoy fast and secure internet access from anywhere in the world with a no logging policy, which means no tracking or recording of your information. Protect your online privacy and enjoy unrestricted access to your favorite content with NordVPN. Try it risk-free with their 30-day money-back guarantee, but I'll guarantee you that you won't do it because you'll keep it because you love it. Take it from me. Visit nordvpn.com/ASNTVUSA for up to 63% off a 2-year plan, and our cameras for the entire season are provided by Cams 22. So my question to Phil, that Phil's not here, it was going to be such an action-packed course and so many opportunities to make a mistake, and I had written that Francois Martel had a full race points over Romain Rateau, but we will not see the French-Canadian tonight, so it'll be interesting to see who will capitalize on this opportunity. Martel comes in at 101 points. It's 20 over Romain Rateau. Josh Klog, a couple seasons ago, champion, 22 points down in third. Magnus Okenhaug in fourth. Sabian Ragster rounds out the top 5. In the Sportsman Cup, we see Cody Crosgrove on top of that championship, 92 points ahead of Chris Wetz with 74. And Jess Rakowski comes off her second Sportsman win in the NASA Rallycross Challenge. She sits in third. The Constructors Championship, TWR Subi Squad, 152 over Woven Planet Gold, 136. Not discrediting any of the other constructors in this championship, but to put it this way, Mika Esport with the Rateau father and son duo, they're third, 81 points. They're a huge gap down on the top 2 in the championship. Subaru had every win this season, but they lost last week to Ford. They still own that championship at the front, 107-79. So let's take a look and see if we can find anyone through qualifying. Alex Abetti, defending champion in car number 1, at the top of the board as we caught, I think it was Magnus Okenhaug, rolling it in turns 1 and 2. And Okenhaug sits in second, Romain Rateau third. Wesley Wickens, who just got signed to Sequential SimSport earlier in the week, sits in fourth. Remember, he made his debut last week in the weirdest of circumstances at the Gymkhana round, and Justin Robichaux sits in fifth, former Sportsman champion as well. As Wesley Wickens in the 51 joins Sequential SimSport. And remember, like I talked about last week, Sequential SimSport used to be Area 52 Racing. They are 6th all-time on the wins list with 9 wins. I lied to you, they're 5th. They're tied with Vusion Racing, Lambert Motorsport Technologies, and Jim Beaver Esports. So some heritage and also some iRacing esports teams for 5th in the championship. So decent mix of names there. So Abetti 41.947, the only car in the 41-second bracket. Magnus Okenhaug is a 42.192. About a minute and a half left in qualifying. As we take a look, as I believe we are looking at Rob Brown in the 66 in his Subaru, riding on board. Such a wonderful track, but also a tricky track. There's very slim grip strips on the left side, driver's left and driver's right through this corner, where the asphalt is underneath and where the curbing is. And if you can hit that, you seem like you're so slow on corner entry, but you hit that and you are lightning quick, obviously. Asphalt's grippier than dirt in this scenario. Joker was on driver's left. You get spit out at the pit exit of the Roval. And turns 1 and 2, Alex was going so quick I wasn't able to finish my little track preview, but this corner is a little bit banked and there's a bit of off camber if you get too far on driver's left. And you can expect these guys, the guys that are quick, can kind of hook the left rear on that little cambered bit and get the car to rotate. So that's going to be really entertaining to watch this evening, as we thank you all for joining us On the Automotive Sports Network, like I mentioned, Josh Mertz by myself in the commentary box. We got Bryan, Sawyer in the production truck. We're finishing up qualifying. Betty P1, Oakenhaug P2, Rateau and Wickens. So that'll be pole position for the heat races as we get ready for heat number 1 here in North Carolina. Grid: Alex Abetty, Justin Robichaux, Justin Ament, Cody Wienecke, Matt Grove, Rob Brown. So those are our 6 cars. And I almost thought that I disconnected from the session, but we are here because there were no cars on track. And the start at the start-finish line of the oval. You run Roval turn 1. Such a marvelous track. As our cameras might have a little bit of an issue, but we'll figure it out as we go. As we get ready for heat number 1, Abetty, Robichaux, Ament, Brown, Wienecke, Grove, green flag. Abetty into turn 1. Defending champion leads us 3 wide for a moment. Robichaux second, Ament third. Wienecke in the 903. In fourth, Grove and Brown. Into the first couple of corners for the first time. And Alex Abetty has had terrible luck in his defending championship season. Did not appear last week in Lime Rock and just hoping for some good luck. And Justin Robichaux, former sportsman champion, right on the rear wing of that Subaru. Wienecke nearly hits Ament in the 6, in the 903, into the 6, I should say, over the jump to turn number 4. Such a tricky section. Third, fourth gear, down to third to get the car to grip. Almost into the wall. We see Abetty hugging the wall to get that line out of the corner. We'll see any Joker rotation on the first lap. Doesn't look like it. Ament does, so first bit of strategy for car number 6. And we'll keep an eye on that versus Cody Wienecke for third, or if something happens as Alex Abetty leads at the end of the first lap. Robichaux in second. Third, Wienecke, Grove, Ament, and Robert Brown. Brown had an issue on the start there, so Ament's got a couple cars to pick off, but there's really no delta between Grove and Wienecke and Ament. And Robichaux really hanging on to the rear wing of Abetty here. No disrespect. Obviously, Justin Robichaux's come a long way since his debut back in 2021. But Abetty's defending champion for a reason, and there was an ungodly amount of practice that he would put in that I heard. Can't remember the amount of hours, but it was a crazy amount of hours as we take lap 3. Fastest lap for Abetty, 42.1. Grove exits the Joker. He comes out ahead of Robert Brown. So we look now to see if Wienecke will Joker, and will he come out ahead of Ament. Fairly confident that he won't. So then it's going to be down to if you're Ament, hoping that something happens between Abetty and Robichaux so you can sneak into a transfer spot. But like we mentioned also before, if you do not make the feature, but you finish third in your heat race, you are gridding up front for the LCQ. Super important. Abetty Joker's in car number 1, so this should cycle Robichaux, former sportsman champion, to the race lead for just a moment. And only about 3 to 4 car lengths between the two, and Abetty can run a little bit deeper, but he hits the wall in car number 1. Ament gets ahead of Wienecke as Wienecke jokered, so put Ament up to third. Grove sneaking in on the rear wing in the 903. So now, it'll be interesting to see, dare I say it, Ament might be battling Robichaux, potentially for this transfer. 43.0 for Ament, 43.2 for Robichaux, as we're going to come to 2 laps to go. 2.2 seconds, as I'm informed by Bryan Sawyer in my ear. Thank you, good sir. Robichaux Jokers in the 93. Rounding the corner, he will lose the lead to Abetty. Where is Ament? No contest between the two. Robichaux holds the spot. We take 2 laps to go. So Abetty from Germany in the Subaru. Justin Robichaux, Canadian from New Brunswick. We have Justin Ament from Arizona in car number 6, sitting in the 3rd spot. Holding a decent-sized gap, right about a second and a half ahead of Cody Wienecke, Matt Grove, and Rob Brown. As halfway through the season at the end of the evening, and it's crazy to think that we are already halfway through the 27th season of the championship. And thank you all who have joined us over the past couple of years here on iRacing. It has certainly been a blast. It's going to be a little bit more laid back as we take the white flag, as it's all by myself. which I'm used to doing, but that's all good. Betty, last lap 42.5. To put it into perspective, 43.4 for Justin Robichaux for that last lap. 43.4 for Ament. They were equal on lap time. 43.4 for Cody Wienecki. Okay, someone else can run something different. Matt Grove, 43.9. And Rob Brown struggling in the 66. Rounding the final couple of corners, defending champion Abedi has had terrible luck the first couple rounds of the championship, but he's going to redeem himself. Pole position and winning Heat 1. Abedi, pole for the feature. Robichaux transfers. Ament P3. Remaining results on that: Cody Wienecki, Matt Grove, Rob Brown. Confirmation on those results as these drivers cross the line to finish their race. I look at Rob Brown mowing over the flowers in the final corner. That's just about as bad as crashing into the tents on NASCAR 2003. Matt Grove giving us congratulations over team radio. And just like that, we've got one heat race down. We got 3 more to go here in Charlotte. Grid 4, heat number 2. Magnus Okenhaug on pole position. Bodie Cryer second. Josh Klog, former champion, in third. Benjamin Gay, Matt Morris, and Jim McKenzie will be our running order. And Benjamin Gay back in the Ford. I feel like picking the Subaru might have been a mistake last week. Normally you would lose all your points, but the 53 doesn't have any points to lose as we get ready for heat number 2 in North Carolina. Green flag off the line. The Woven Planet cars smoked Magnus off the start into turn number 1, but he's got the inside. Can Klog clear him? 3 wide. Cryer's in the middle. He's the meat in the sandwich, but he gets by his teammate out of turn number 1 into turn number 2. Technically 6 and 7 as we begin the first lap. Magnus leads ahead of Bodie Cryer, Josh Klog, Benjamin Gay. Matt Morris nearly hits the 53, and Jim McKenzie in the 204. Contact between Morris and Gay again, and Morris is around in the 24. This is going to be a great battle between the Woven Planet cars and the LRL Subaru Magnus Okenhaug. A little bit disappointing for the British squad for LRL because they were expecting to have their full squad: Jan Gronquist, John Dipple, Dan McDonald, and Magnus. But Magnus has been the only constant, and they have not done well in the Constructors' Championship. But Woven Planet sits second in that championship with Klog and Cryer, and Robichaux transferred out of the first heat. At the end of the first lap, Magnus leads. No jokers yet, obviously, but these top 3 under a blanket. Cryer deep into turn number 1, utilizing the banking through this first complex, nearly into the back of the 26 of Magnus over the jump. You have to be on rails in this section. Easy through this corner. Don't hit the brakes. Ride the car through the corner. Over the jump. Into turn 5. Magnus runs a little bit deeper than I'd like if I was in his shoes. Might be feeling the pressure of Cryer in the 05. A little bit wide in turn 5 as well. Back onto the asphalt. Will we see jokers on the second lap of the race? Klog will. Pin to the grenade is pulled from the 199, the American from Maryland. Behind Bodie Cryer from Texas, Magnus Okenhaug from Norway completely blows turn 1, but here comes Cryer. Fastest lap was Magnus, 42.9. They both blew the corner, and what's crucial about that, there's no gap between these two before Klog jokered. Every little bit of time that you hemorrhage now will hinder you when you joker, and Josh Klog says, go ahead and do it. Just like Magnus into the fence, they're going to be battling side by side, and this is what Klog likes. Former champion from 2022B, Magnus all over the rear wing of Magnus is Cryer. Cryer jokers in the 05. This will put Klog through to second. Exiting the joker, Klog will take the spot ahead of his teammate Bodie Cryer. I stand corrected. I should know my history. 2022A. I thought that was weird as I said it. 2022A for Josh Klog, his championship, as he beat his teammate Luke Kraus. So remember when Luke Kraus raced, but withdrew with a couple races left due to some turmoil. Really gave that championship to him, but over the past 10 years, you could say that that's happened more than once. Benjamin Gay pulls away from Jim McKenzie and Matt Morris. They're battling for 5th. Good run for Gay in the 53 in the Ford, I should say, this week. No Joker for Magnus yet as we took cross flags last time around, but the Norwegian, decent gap ahead. He's got a 2.7 second lead, so gap for the Delta is 2.2. It's going to be nip and tuck when he jokers. And it's tricky in this scenario because if you're Magnus, you can joker now, but then you're going to be having pressure for that last lap. But there's also, if you mess up in this lap and take your joker on the last lap, it's such a double-edged sword. As I say that, clock nearly into the wall in turn number 4. His last lap was a 42.8. Magnus's was a 42.8. Bodie Cryer 43.151. Magnus jokers in the 26 now. We're going to watch the joker rotation. Magnus might have this, so we might be side by side exiting. White flag. Car length between them. Magnus misses the corner. Claude goes through to the lead. Side by side, he didn't. Magnus holds on the outside. So much respect being shown. Contact between them on the exit of the corner, and Magnus is going to hold it. The runner-up in 2020A got so close to that championship, and he's been so close ever since. Clog pressuring him to run the wider line, and here comes Cryer. Cryer sneaking into the picture in the 05. We have 3 cars under a blanket and not going to give me a chance to take a breath. Well, don't worry about Magnus. Worry about the teammates in the final corner. This is for a transfer spot. Cryer hits the curb. He's going to lose it. Magnus wins. Clog transfers. Maybe not. At the line, he does over his teammate, Cryer. Gentlemen, I'm by myself, and I'm a one-man band tonight. I cannot be screaming this early in the night. Benjamin Gay, Matt Morris, Jim McKenzie, the remaining running order. Prolonged bits of silence as I take, I believe, well-deserved drinks of water. Here on the Automotive Sports Network, Bryan, Sawyer, Josh Mertz bringing you this action for the NASA Rallycross Challenge this evening. Grid for heat number 3. Rateau, Crosgrove, Erdman, Rateau, Quinn, Wetz, as it was Magnus and Clog transferring out of heat number 2. So the Rateau father and son duo, Romain Rateau became the 40th driver in series history to win, with his first win last week in Lime Rock decimated the field. Cody Erdman, former champion in 2016A and 2017A, had a great run as well in the 52, and Cody Crosgrove holds that Sportsman points lead. He didn't have the greatest race. Jess Rakowski won in Sportsman. Olivier Rateau, Brock Quinn, and Chris Wetz. Like we always mention, Chris Wetz, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, came so close to winning championships. He won here on NASCAR 2003 so many years ago. Getting ready for Heat 3. Green flag off the line. Crosgrove gets blitzed, really, from Erdman, along with Rateau, down to turn number 1, side by side. Crosgrove drifts into the corner, rips the handbrake, not sure why. Rateau takes the lead! Contact Erdman! And Erdman is over in the 52! And the former champions out of heat number 3. Cody Crosgrove sits in second. Erdman's still driving. That's probably the hardest hit that I've seen him take in this championship. Rateau leads. And that was a matter of Crosgrove ripping the handbrake. Actually, that didn't even matter. Rateau came over into Erdman, it looked like, if I remember correctly. And that's what caused that one. Wet sits third, 4th Quinn, 5th Olivier Rateau, and Erdman has parked it in the 52. At the end of the first lap, Romain Rateau will lead as we ride on board the Ford Fiesta. Now on board Crosgrove in the Subaru. You'll hear me say this so many times tonight, but it's such a rewarding sector to get right. That first sector through 1, through 2, through 3. Because if you really load the left rear tire up, exiting the jump, you feel it grip and you can really just whip the wheel to the right, and the car will do what you expect it to do. Turn 4, turn 5, also very great. If you can't tell, I've been running a lot of the Beetle Light at this track. It's wonderful to get this track correct when you're in the zone. No joker for the top 2. Quinn sits in 3rd, Rateau, and I think Wetz had an issue in the 71. He did, so take him out of the 3rd spot. So we might see a little bit more of a subdued heat race here as we begin the 3rd lap of the race. But I suspect that Cosgrove will still push hard because, like we mentioned before, if you win a heat race or transfer, long story short, any bonus points that you get as a sportsman will carry into the Sportsman Championship. So that will help his cause, leading that championship in car number 18 for Dirt Esport. His teammate, Matt Kingsbury, not here this evening. So, Dirt Esport, only one car, Cody Cosgrove, all over the rear wing of that Ford Fiesta of Romain Rateau. Jokering is Rateau. So now, we will see if Cosgrove will have the pace over Rateau. He was all over that rear wing as we take cross flags halfway home in heat number 3, 43.165 to a 46. So about 3 seconds, that lap time. And I think the Ford struggles on a worn-in track. Bryan, if you want to confirm off-monitor for me. I could be wrong. As he corrects me, in his opinion, it gets better. So I know that I struggled in the Subaru on a worn track when I was running full-time. So take that as you wish. Coming to 2 laps to go. Cody Cosgrove leads, no joker. It looks like Rateau has clawed up a little bit of the gap back. 2.2, he's right on the fringe. 2.3, 2.4, right on the fringe of stealing that back. So it's all about focusing. Last lap time for Cosgrove, fastest lap of them all, 42.811. 42.893 for Rateau in the 23. So we should see a side-by-side battle for this transfer if all stays the same. 1.9, right around the 2-second gap here. And this will be fascinating in the final couple of laps. Will Cosgrove joker now, or will he wait to the checkered flag? He jokers now in the 18. So let's take a look as we ride on board the rear wing of Rateau to see where Cosgrove comes out side by side, but he clears them. Rateau back to the race lead. Cosgrove to the inside. Nearly contact between them on the white flag. Through 1, through 2. Rateau hit the apex. Cosgrove nearly dropped the left rear off the jump into turn number 3. Rateau got a better run through the corner. Cosgrove pushed out mid-corner into turn 4. Will they both hit the grip lane? They don't, but Cosgrove has a better run on exit of the corner as we ride on board the 18 for a moment. To the inside of Rateau goes Cosgrove. Rateau shuts the door. So the Frenchman, coming off of his first victory in the championship, looks like he will hold off Cosgrove. Final corner, Cosgrove can't get there, but he transfers. Romain Rateau wins heat number 3, Cosgrove second. Looks like Brock Quinn will survive and come home in third. Fourth place, Chris Wetz. Fifth, Olivier Rateau. Sixth, Cody Erdman after flying through the air. And I suspect him saying, I'm flying through the air, this is not good, like Ricky Bobby, as much as I know Cody Erdman. So we get ready for heat number 4. Wesley Wickens, Sabian Ragster, Jess Rakowski, Steve Angie, Jake Robichaux. Jess Rakowski, defending sportsman, or I should say defending race winner, meaning last week. Wesley Wickens making his debut for Sequential Sim Sport. So they will have 3 cars this evening here in Charlotte. Jake Robichaux and Steve Angie on the back row of the grid. 4 Subarus, 1 Volkswagen. We get ready for heat 4. Green flag off the line. Ragster of the Volkswagen gets a better start than Wickens. Wickens got a worse start than Rakowski. Down to the first corner. Robichaux gets shoved out by Angie into the first corner. Rakowski rips the handbrake into her teammate, and Jake Robichaux gets turned. Why? I'm not reviewing the wreck. That's tomorrow. Sabian Ragster leads ahead of Steve Angie. Jess Rakowski rips the handbrake and crashes in turn 1. Jake Robichaux and Wesley Wickens. What a terrible debut for Wesley Wickens on his first start to get crashed by your teammate. I don't want to be in that team meeting, and I don't want to be Cody Erdman having that debrief later on. Sabian Ragster leads about a second ahead of Steve Angie in car number 7. And will we see any jokers on this first lap? Angie got a little squirrely off the corner, ended up in the dirt. Sabian leads at the end of the first lap. Perfect rotation through the corner for the 91. Angie, Rakowski, Robichaux, and Wickens. Everyone's still going, but we did have that second consecutive sequential SimSport crash here in NASA Rallycross. And we'll keep an eye on this rotation between Ragster and Angie once the Jokers unravel, because we obviously don't get a good lap time indicator until they cross the second lap. So let's see what Ragster runs. He crosses the line at a 42.841. 43.3 for Angie, half a second down. Rakowski exits the Joker in the 999. She holds third ahead of Jake Robichaux and Wesley Wickens Jokers in the 51. The hilarious thing is I think they're all in the same Discord channel, in the team channel, so I don't want to be a part of that. Conversation. Looks like Angie middle sector gained a little bit of ground back on Ragster. Let's call it 1.1 seconds is the gap. So he doesn't have to worry about Rakowski or anybody behind. A little bit deep in turn 6 for Steve Angie, rounding turn 7. In the VW Light, it's flat, but with these cars with the extra power, Angie rips the handbrake. At least it looked like he did. Left rear bit the dirt, and he got the car to rotate, but he's off the apex slightly in car number 7. And Ragster over the jump through the corner. As we took cross flags here in heat number 4, already almost to the semifinals here in NASA Rallycross. 43.271 for Ragster versus a 43.143 for Steve Angie. So Angie, call it a 10th faster than Ragster, but you got to do more than just a 10th to gain any time. Willie Joker, yes, in car number 7. Exiting the Joker, Rakowski nowhere to be found against the 7 of Steve Angie. So Angie really, if I was Steve Angie, I'd focus on the transfer spot, as the gap is 4 seconds and the delta was 2.2. Let's just call it 2.5 to be conservative. And Ragster has shown pace, like I've said so many times before. He's got on the podium, never could seal the deal. So I wonder, will tonight be the night for car number 91 as we come to the white flag here shortly? Rakowski, Wickens, Jake Robichaux, as I look through the field, has crashed in turn 1 in the 69. The heat race has gone from bad to worse for the elder Robichaux. Ragster takes the white flag, 43.290 to a 43.217. They're equal on lap time. So Ragster will Joker at the end of this lap, but he's still, unless catastrophically something goes wrong, commentator's curse might happen, knowing me, but Ragster should hold this in the 91. Final set of corners. I got distracted by the ticker saying template text. I think Bryan messed that up, but it's not an ASN broadcast without a janky ticker. Final corner. Ragster will win heat number 4. Angie will transfer after the sequential SimSport cars crashed on the start. Rakowski will come home 3rd, Wickens 4th, Jake Robichaux 5th. Confirmation on those results. Ragster, Angie, Rakowski, Wickens, Robichaux. Semi-final time here in Charlotte. 5 laps for this one. Joker lap once, like the heat races. Top 2 will transfer. Or winner will transfer, I should say. I really know my own format. I promise. It's been 11 years. For those of you that are new, yes, the NASA Rallycross Challenge has been going on for 11 years. If you'd like to join in on the fun, there should be a Discord link floating around somewhere. If you'd like to watch the old shows, all of them, I'd say 95% of them, are on the ASN On Demand. Click into our profile and enjoy. Can't say that they won't be polished. They might be a little messy, no graphics, and that kind of stuff. We get ready for the first semifinal this evening here in Concord, North Carolina. Pole 4, the semifinal, Justin Ament, Brock Quinn, Cody Winecki, Chris Wetz, Matt Grove, Olivier Rateau, Robert Brown. 5 laps, Joker once, winner transfers. And turn 1, action spot, because of how the corner is, because of how the start is. And Subaru, Volkswagen, Ford, Subaru. Manufacturer breakdown for this first semi-final. 7 cars, 5 laps, winner transfers. Green flag. Bunch of jump starts. Looks like Wetz, Winecki, and at least a couple others. We'll see how it boils out into turn number 1. Ament leads Wetz. Side by side are Quinn and Grove in the 472. Rateau in the 63. Brown, Winecki into turn number 1 for the first time. Ament leads ahead of Wetz, ahead of Quinn. Grove looks to the inside of Quinn. Nothing doing there for the 472 over the jump for the first time. So Grove, Rateau, Brown, 5, 6, and 7. 4, 5, 6, and 7 running order. Everyone's really under a blanket from second on back, and we won't know really what happens with the penalties until, realistically, everyone crosses the line, and then iRacing will do its job and really penalize for those jump starts. And so tricky to get them right. Olivier Rateau jokers in the 63. Ament leads in the 6. We want to talk about terrible luck. It's been Justin Ament. As I say that, nearly into the wall in the 6. But Ament for damage plan. Wetz in front of Quinn. The 2 Volkswagens over the jump. Chris Wetz, like we mentioned, the only driver in the history of the championship to race in every single season. All 27 of them, at least once. And something might have to happen to Ament here, or the penalties will fall his way for something to happen. Granted, we still have half the race left. Grove to the inside of Quinn, drifts out in turn 5, nearly into the 005. Wetz will joker, not sure who that guy is, because Wetz normally jokers on the last lap of the race. Grove, I think Grove is quicker than Quinn. Last lap, 45-1 to a 45-0. Quinn into the fence in the 005, just a kiss on the left rear in that tire barrier. Grove thought, take advantage of that, but he's still stuck behind. Now this is an opportunity. If I was Matt Grove, I'd honestly joker. I would have jokered maybe the last opportunity just to get away from Quinn. You can get the clear track and get caught right back up to him. As, like I mentioned with Wetz, something's got to happen for Ament for these guys to have a shot at transferring, but still, you'd get a better shot. And Grove still no joker in the 472. 2 laps to go for Ament. Fastest lap for Ament was a 43.334. Apologies if you can hear me screw my water bottle back together, but when you're by yourself, you have to make things happen here. Ament 43.4. Quinn was a 44 flat. Grove was a 44.3. Quinn looks like he missed the corner in turn 4. Grove tried to run the inside, had the better line, but by that point, Quinn was already on corner exit. Wetz sitting there if anything happens. Rob Brown in his first Rallycross start in the 66 in 7th, and Winecki in the 903. Along with Olivier Rateau. Ament exits the joker to take the white flag in car number 6, 46.068, 44.5 for Quinn, 44.1 for Wetz. As Grove in the 472 jokers, it might have been a couple laps too late for Grove, to be perfectly honest. As Ament rounds the final sector, to potentially, so we still got a couple corners left, and also potentially win this race. Will we see some joker rotations along with the penalties? Ament doesn't have the joker because he already did. Quinn will joker in the 005. Wetz has already jokered. Grove has already jokered. Rounding the final corner, Ament wins tentatively on the road. Wetz comes home in second, best of the rest. Quinn third. Grove, Winecki, Brown, Rateau. As we wait for confirmation.
Nice racing, guys. Nice racing.
So confirmation on these results, as our graphic, little bit of an issue there. Ament wins, so he maintains that. Wetz will see
Nice race, Rock. Nice race.
11th, 13th for Quinn, 15th for Grove, 17th for Brown, 19th for Winecki, 21st for Olivier Rateau. Cryer, Rakowski, Gay, Wickens, Morris, Jake Robichaux, Jim McKenzie, Cody Erdman. All 3 sequential cars are in this race. As we get ready for the second semifinal. Green flag. Off the line. Benjamin Gay got a terrible start. He holds up Erdman. Erdman gives him a little nudge. Into turn number 1. Morris. Contact nearly between them. Rakowski gets past. 4 wide. Erdman stuck in the back. Here comes Jake Robichaux, super angry in the 69, and he's in 3rd. Wesley Wickens sits in 2nd. Robichaux misses the corner. Here comes Benjamin Gay in the 53. Erdman passes Morris. Will he dispatch of Rakowski? Gives her a little nudge over the jump. Leading is Bodie Cryer. Wickens hit the grass, not a good entry through turn 3, and Jake Robichaux, not a good entry and exit as well. Here comes Benjamin Gay in the 53, sneaking to the inside. Erdman bowls his teammate out of the way, and here comes Benjamin Gay battling with Robichaux. Will Gay back up the corner, do the over-under, gives Robichaux a nudge a little bit. Here comes Erdman in the 52, former champion, who will joker on the first lap of the race. Benjamin Gay does in the 53, so does Rakowski, so does Morris. At the end of the first lap, Cryer leads. Crucial for Cryer to maintain this gap because the winner is the only one to transfer, and Wesley Wickens sitting in 2nd, Robichaux in 3rd in the 69 over the sleeping policeman in front of Erdman. Huge crash again in the 52, and I hate that I laughed, but I can imagine how furious Cody's going to be. Don't turn the radio on of the 52. Rakowski loops it in turn 4. Morris into the fence as well. And I think I got a commentating buddy with Cody Erdman. We'll have to see if he wants to join me in a couple minutes. Cryer leads on lap number 3. Erdman back to the pit lane. Benjamin Gay sits in 3rd. Wesley Wickens in 2nd. I pulled you in here against your will if you'd like to join me. But just what's the emotions after 2 heavy crashes like that?
Me, Charlotte, don't mix apparently tonight. So
if it was NR 2003, it would, because you've won there. But you bad luck here this evening. If you want to hang out with me, I'd really appreciate it. We've been by myself all evening long.
For sure. So
Cryer leads ahead as Jake Robichaux in the 69 has parked it from 5th. I'm not sure what happened to him. As Wickens sits in 2nd. Benjamin Gay in 3rd. 4th is Matthew Morris, Robichaux, Rakowski, McKenzie, Erdman, the remaining running order as we lap and a half left to go. So let's take a look and see. Cryer has not jokered yet, nor has Wickens in the 51. It's a shame to see what happened to your team cars on the start there, Cody. I was really excited to see what would happen with Wickens. Looks like he might be best of the rest in this semifinal, but I'm sure that's not what you guys hope for.
Yeah, no, kind of a rough outing all in general for our team, so we'll kind of go back to the drawing board and regroup for next week. Kids, unfortunate luck on the starts pretty much tonight for all of us, and then I was just trying to be a little bit on the aggressive side, trying to drive through the field and capitalize on Robichaux's mistake there, and that unfortunately set me in the tire barrier. Probably should have went right instead of left. Hindsight's 2020. We'll move on to next week.
Jokering is Cryer. Jokering is he's not jokering in the 51. He already has jokered, but Cryer wins the semifinal. Best of the rest will be Wickens in the 51, followed by Benjamin Gay in the 53. Cryer, Wickens, Benjamin Gay, Morris, Rakowski, Robichaux, Erdman, and Jim McKenzie. So we're going to step away for just a couple moments here on the Automotive Sports Network, have a brief couple of messages. Allow me to drink some water. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.
You're so interesting.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous with your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to nordvpn.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Side nearly 3 wide of Matt and Palacio. Front bumper of Bebetti down to turn 2. Clog takes the lead. Real still has him jokered inside. Clog on McKenna. Contact between them.
You're so interesting.
So we welcome you back to the Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge from the Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. It's Bryan, Sawyer in the production truck. Cody Erdman supposed to be on track alongside me in the commentary box. My name is Josh Mertz as we get ready for this feature race this evening. Round 231 of the championship overall. Round 5 of the 27th season of the championship. As just a couple reminders, a couple of friends that we have here. Our series brought to you by Overwatch Specialty Service. The only thing more unique than your problem is our solution. For more information, visit osscenter.com. Thank you so much to Rob Hartland for your support. Our coverage on the Automotive Sports Network all season brought to you by NordVPN. For up to 63% off a 2-year plan, visit nordvpn.com/ASNTVUSA. And our cameras for this entire season are provided by TrackCams22.com. And Cody, I want to ask you, no Francois this evening. Romain is 20 points down. Who's your prediction? Really, Alex P1, Magnus P2. I mean, they're all quick, but what do you think?
Well, so after watching everyone, I don't think anyone's competition for a Betty tonight. What he was doing in his heat race, nobody else was doing. He was putting that car exactly where it needed to be and the exact gears it needed to be every single lap. So if he can get out in no traffic, he's untouchable. Romain and Magnus, I would say, probably could be second, third step on your podium. Although, honestly, I think that's probably the most wide open. It's pretty close between everyone else. Depending on what the start is like is going to determine the rest of the race. So if them two get a good start, I could see them being P2 and P3. Other than that, it could be Clog, it could be Crosgrove, could be any of them, as long as you get a good start.
And we've seen, unfortunately, for your sake, when things go wrong here in Charlotte off the start, they usually end in spectacular fashion. You didn't flip over the wall like Marwan Mokhtar did, but you got pretty close as finishing up warm-up this evening here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Thank you all for joining us on the Automotive Sports Network, whether live or on demand. Be sure to join us next week at the Atlanta Motor Speedway in Hampton, Georgia. And during the ad break, Cody Erdman said, "I got that track. We'll be good." So wish you luck, good sir. Atlanta short, I think, is what we picked. So short run to turn 1, 90 right into another 90 right. It's going to be a crazy start.
Actually, I believe it's... Nope, it's long.
Never mind then. Long run into turn 1, but then it's basically a double apex, so we'll see plenty of action down that straight. One of the longest runs into turn 1 at Atlanta. Kind of one of the shorter ones here in Charlotte, but it's a unique one. Our grid: Alex Abetty, Magnus Okenhaug, Romain Rateau, Sabian Ragster, Justin Robichaux, Josh Klog, Cody Crosgrove, Steve Angie, Justin Ament, Cody Cryer. 10 cars, 10 laps, 2 jokers. As we wait on, I want to say just one car. Waiting on Sabian Ragster. As we get ready for round 5 in North Carolina. We go green and Charlotte. Off the line. Ragster gets a good jump. Nearly into Magnus. Pinched into turn number 1. Rateau side by side with Abetty into the first corner. Magnus in the middle. Pushes out wide to the 26. And one of the guys who's quick is out of the way. Crosgrove contact in the back of the field. Clog side by side with Rateau. Now Ragster sits in second as we begin the first lap behind Abetty. Romain Rateau sits in third. Contact with Clog and Rateau. Rateau slides it. Robichaux nearly passes his teammate in the 199 versus the 93. Immense. Cryer side by side with Crosgrove. And remember, this is going to be a huge race for Woven Planet, as Abetty's the only car in the feature for them in the Constructors' Championship. Ragster second. Third, Rateau. Fourth, Clog. Fifth, Robichaux. That's the top half of the field. Will we see any jokers on the first lap of the race? Doesn't look like it for the first couple spots. Robichaux pulls the pin, but Cody, like you mentioned, Alex out and away.
Yeah, Alex is putting his car exactly where he needs to be. Now he's out. As long as nothing crazy happens to him, he should be able to start walking away from these guys. Because Savian had a great start out P2.
So Robichaux exited the Joker ahead of Cryer. He gets by Magnus in the 26. Sabian hanging on to the rear wing of Alex Abetty in car number 1. The German versus the American from California. And Romain Rateau, the Frenchman. Like we mentioned, latest first-time winner, 40th different winner in the history of this championship. Will he joker? No. So it looks like the only car to joker is Robichaux, not completing his strategy. So no jokers on this lap. Looks like Steve Angie jokered as well. Fastest of them all, Alex Abetty, 42.493. And I just think, well, there's no thinking. I know that this resurgence for Abetty came too late. Crosgrove pushes Ament. Contact between them over the jump as I flick through the field. But Cody, the momentum for Alex just came a pinch too late.
Yeah, he had like the most terrible luck in the first couple of weeks. And I think he took that week off last week just to kind of get a reset. Now that he's back, he's kind of showing the vengeance of the poor luck that he had.
As Abetty jokers, he comes out of the Joker side by side with Ragster. Ragster takes the lead, but now Abetty stuck in traffic, meeting the sandwich between the two other manufacturers. Rateau nearly checks him. Rateau goes to the race lead. What a move from Romain Rateau through turn 2. Ragster got clobbered out of the way, and now Clog sneaks into the picture on Abetty. This is getting spicy, and if I'm Ragster, I'd be fuming losing the lead like that. Clog nearly hits Abetty. Abetty hits Rateau. Easy, Alex. You don't want to lose this spot when you've already really led on the road. Exiting the corner, Abetty takes the spot over Rateau. Will Rateau respond into turn 6? Not going to play nice as the 23 and checks him back to the race lead. Ragster does not joker. I thought he did. Clog in the 199 on the outside. Crosgrove jokers in the 18. We can't take our eyes off this top 4, though. Clog 4th, 5th Cryer, 6th Crosgrove, 7th Justin Robichaux, 8th Magnus, 9th Ament, 10th Steve Angie. We'll keep an eye on Justin Robichaux and Steve Angie. Their strategies are played. We'll just have to wait and see here, Cody. Halfway home.
Yes. Savion's the only one that hasn't taken a joker yet. Oh, Romain takes his
Romain finishes his strategy. He will come out behind the Woven Planet cars, actually between them, between Cryer and Robichaux. 43.213 for Abetty, 43.4 for Ragster, 43.4 for Clog. And we apologize for if there's any stream glitchy. Bryan Sawyer having some issues internally. We're trying to get that fixed up for you guys. here in Charlotte. Cryer to the inside of his teammate Clog. This is for third and a spot on the podium as we come to 3 laps to go. Clog nicks the wall there, but he's holding that very dominant inside line, Cody.
And as Betty goes to the Joker, so now let's see where that puts him.
Ragster will go back to the race lead. But Betty crucially comes out in front of the Woven Planet cars, so he's not going to be caught in traffic again. But Ragster has not jokered. Obviously, that's going to be right. The graphic wouldn't lie to us, but why would Ragster wait this long? Just to be a thorn in a Betty's side is the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure.
Everybody else has finished their strategy. Clog's got 1 left, and Ragster's got 2. So Ragster might fall into the clutches here down the order. A Betty all over the rear wing of the 91. Will Ragster joker, or will he still hinder a Betty? Ragster jokers now. Clog does not joker. We're going to keep an eye on Ragster in the 91, exiting in the Volkswagen. He'll come out ahead of Romain Rateau in the 23.
Is now Clog and Savion, they've only got 1 joker, so that's going to put them probably right in the middle of those Woven Planet cars, so that should be interesting.
So once they joker, this will put Rateau to second, and this should give Rateau the points lead. So we might see a new points leader, because I don't think Francois is going to have enough points. As a reminder, no Francois Martel this evening here in Charlotte. Alex Abetti's going to take 1 lap to go. Ragster... Oh, he did take a joker. I apologize there. White flag for Abetti. Hard to keep track of all these cars here in NASA Rallycross. Fastest lap, Alex Abetti, 42.483. Second faster than Clog that last lap in the 199.
Yeah, he's just in another zip code right now.
The last 2 champions of the series, Abetti 2022B, Clog 2022A, right up front like they should be. Robichaux 2022A Sportsman Champion. But Alex Abetti had a terrible first couple of races, didn't even show up last week in Lime Rock. The championship defense may be over, but a race win not out of the question. Through the final corner, Alex Abetti, win number 4, and he ties himself with Magnus Okenhaug for 16th all-time on the wins list. Abetti wins ahead of Romain Rateau. Clog at the line ahead of his teammate for 3rd, Robichaux 4th. And I told everyone not to die at the end of the race, and in NASA fashion, everybody dies at the end of the race. Defending champion right back where he should be in car number 1 at the top of the board for Alex Abetti. Romain Rateau 2nd, Clog 3rd on the podium. Pipped his teammate by less than a tenth. Robichaux Cryer, the remaining top 5. Great run for Woven Planet, 3rd through 5th. That should help them in the Constructors' Championship. Savion Ragster, technically speaking, Woven Planet 3 through 6th as Ragster on the Volkswagen Satellite there. Cody Crosgrove wins Sportsman once again. Ament, Okenhaug, Steve Angie, the remaining running order.
Good run there by Team Watson Racing. Only car in the show, and he gets the win at least.
As your satellite teammates, of course, with Sequential SimSport, with the Subi Doobie squad for TWR. And we'll have, we'll bring in Crosgrove if you want to have a quick chat with him, and then we'll have a chat with Alex, and then we're going to call it an evening, I think. So let me bring in Crosgrove for you. Cody Crosgrove, Cody Erdman, all yours.
Hey there, Cody.
What's going on?
Since I got stuffed on the tire barrier for two races, then I decided to come up here and grab a mic. So, good solid race by you tonight. Getting that P7 overall in the Sportsman Cup. What was your race tonight in the feature? Kind of what was your plan?
My plan was to try to keep up with those guys, and I tried for I kept up with them for most part of the race, but started to fade it. But I was just trying to see what I could do with those guys. Those guys are pretty fast.
With you being right with your 2 teammates there, were you trying to do an alternate strategy to them to see if you could jump in front of them, or were you just trying to kind of follow and let them punch the holes for you?
I was just pretty much following. I never knew when to joker. I always screw that up.
Yeah, that's especially here. It's a hard one to guess right because I think there's a couple of good strategies you can do, and it's depending on your situation. So, with that being said, who would you like to thank to get you the Sportsman winner tonight?
I'd like to thank Dirt Esport, you guys, for putting on a good show. My daughter, and that's pretty much it.
As good run, my friend. We will see you next week in Atlanta.
Thank you, guys.
As we bring in our defending champion, and better late than never, right, Alex? Car number 1, position number 1. Finally, took us 5 weeks. Talk me through your race.
Oh my God, finally. Yeah, I didn't do a stupid mistake like in the first races. And yeah, I had good pace. I was a little bit sad about Magnus, but I don't know really what happened. I think I didn't have any space and I couldn't do anything. So I don't know, but I have to watch it in the replay. Other than that, when Romain did a crazy pass on me, that was really good. I never saw that somebody pull off, and he did that. Good. Yeah. Shout outs to him.
Don't worry. If you rewatch the show, you'll hear me scream, and it was very, very entertaining. I joke with you, Alex, because you've had not the greatest championship defense. Trust me, you have to go to the gym to be able to carry that number 1 plate. It's pretty heavy. You should ask me or Cody. But I know Francois not here, so when he comes back, I mean, he's not going to be in the points lead, but say like you're leading and he's in second, are you going to give him a little team orders to give him those points? I mean, what's the game plan for you for these this last half of the season?
I don't know if I can still catch up, but honestly, I think he deserves the championship, and I will try to support him. Like, this championship is not about me anymore because I'm out of the picture. I will support him, and I'm happy I could get some points for Team Watson today.
Cody, you got anything for our race winner?
No, just congratulations on running pretty much a picture-perfect race as you could, dealing with a little bit of traffic there. But other than that, you put down lap after lap. Just the car was like a slot car all night long. So congratulations.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
Alex, before we let you go, any partners, anyone you'd like to thank for, let me get it here, 4th career win in the NASA Rallycross Challenge?
Yeah, Francois Martel, he's not here, and Carson McKenna, Marcus Palacio, and all my friends from Team Watson.
Alrighty, sir. Great run, great win. We will see you in Atlanta.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I can sense that he's still a little disappointed because of the championship defense. You know, it's kind of bittersweet, and I'm sure you can agree. When you're having a terrible championship defense, you've got that car number 1, and you have these terrible races, and you're like, wow, how did I win this championship? And you win, but you're still kind of like, cool. But then, yeah, I'm not going to win the championship. I mean, at least that's my thought process. I don't know if you had anything like that with yours.
Yeah, you pretty much almost, especially with this style of points where you don't have any resets or anything, like kind of the stock car side of things, where you almost just want to start building momentum for next season. So then hopefully you're firing on all 8 cylinders when you start like the next following season coming up when you're running a league like this. So just kind of getting back in your groove, get the funk out. And this way you're just running your best when you have the new season start, whenever that time comes, or a new league if it comes up. So no, I can tell, yeah, I bet he is kind of disappointed that the season hasn't gone the way he wants. And like you said, it's so hard to go back to back in this series. I don't know what it is, but it's super hard to have 2 good seasons back to back. Either someone new comes in and challenges you, or you, like a Betty had, where just 3 bad races and you're essentially done for the season.
I remember, granted, get him back in the retirement home, but I remember in 2016A, your first championship. Actually, both of the championships, I personally had terrible races those first couple races of the championship, and you can never recover. It doesn't matter. I had four wins out of 5 races, and I finished 3rd in the other race in the mid-season of that in 16A, and you still can't make it up because when you have one mistake, the momentum goes away and it just snowballs. So I certainly feel for Alex Abetti.
No, and it's especially like this series and how we used to run, where the top guys were the top guys every single week. We were on the podium every single week. So you had to be perfect almost every single week. One mistake will destroy your season.
And especially now, not even saying that, our fast guys aren't consistent, but with 24 cars, first of all, I'm going to thank everyone who has joined and raced for this season. It's been awesome to have the 24 cars, but you have 24 cars. Realistically, I don't want to say like one or two couldn't win, right? We could probably get I would almost say like 12 guys. We could get half our field maybe to win a race.
There's definitely, we definitely have our favorites with like a Betty, Romain, Francois, I think would be our top 3. Clog is right there. But like that second tier isn't that big of a drop. Like it's just one bad start, they hit one corner wrong, and those guys will be right there with them. And we have more guys coming in. The gap is closing to them, I feel like.
As before we head out, we're going to get unofficial points, if we want to bring that up, and take a look who will have the red plate going into next week. It will be Romain Marteau unofficially. 3-point lead over Francois Martel, Josh Clog, Ragster, Okenhaug. And all this means for Martel is you have to ace this last half of this championship, and you can't have the mistakes like Cody and I are talking about. Magnus, Robichaux, Angie, Betty up to P8, up 4 spots with this one win. Crosgrove, Cryer, the remaining top 10. In the Sportsman Cup, Crosgrove maintains his lead over Wetz, maintains second over Rakowski, Quinn, Winecki, the remaining top 5. That's about it for the Charlotte Grand Prix for the Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge. Be sure to join us next week at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. But from all of us at the Automotive Sports Network, from Philip Kraus, who is not feeling well, once again, my friend, hope you feel better. From Cody Erdman, Philip Kraus, Bryan Sawyer, my name is Josh Mertz. Hope you enjoyed today's coverage of NASA Rallycross on ASN. We will see you next week in Atlanta. But until then, so long, everyone.